Sir, question to you. We're looking at the changing demographics of the workforce, all right? And we have Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, and in some organizations, the baby boomers as well. We're seeing this multi-generational diversity in organizations. So from that perspective, what are the implications on HR according to you?
So, when you say demographics, you really have to link it, and you actually alluded to it to diversity. Because for any business, again, I wouldn't like to isolate HR for it. I think it's really a combined business role where organizations still haven't capitalized fully on diversity and inclusion. Even today, and I'm surprised, let's not name organizations, when they're talking diversity, they still allude to gender diversity. I think that's the least of the things. An organization to be truly successful has to be truly diverse in its totality. And globally, let me tell you, for example, Siemens, global company, its main board, it's all male, all white, all German. Now, how diverse can you get? Okay, and so when Novartis started, also it was a very Swiss board, but today it's one of the most diverse boards. It's got an Indian, it's got a Chinese, it's got males, it's got females, it's got European, it's got Americans. Now, this is Switzerland, which is again small country, very conservative, but you cannot be a global company unless you have a diverse board. If India and China are going to be one of your biggest markets in the future, they're not there today, by the way, for pharmaceuticals of value. But unless you have a board member, one from India and one from China, what are you talking? So I think, again, in India, demographics is being beaten to death as this, but I think it's a great advantage. Just yesterday I was sharing a world map with our colleagues from Basel, where it clearly shows in 5 years' time, which is within planned period, India will have the largest surplus of educated, employable people in the whole world. China is short because of the single child policy. US is short, Europe is short. So the only thing you can do is take talent from India and plant them into these locations, or you bring the activity from these locations into India. So one way or the other, we are very well positioned. So HR, business have a very strong role to play in developing this talent, in managing this talent, and it's truly a great time for India in terms of the role, the magnitude, and the opportunity that we have as a country. So I just want to allude a little bit to the political aspect as well, because skill development and investments in those areas are very important. I think this is where the government needs to play an active role along with industry, and multiple stakeholders need to come, because everybody knows the data. 25 million babies are born in India every year. Only 2 million jobs are created in India every year. So that's a dramatically skewed ratio. So what's going to happen to other people? Either they become entrepreneurs or they become wasters. There's something amiss which is going to happen very fast. So it's a very strong role that one has to play, and we all need to get together to make this happen.
Ram, would you like to add something to this?
Again, I'll come back to the point where Mrs. Shahani closed actually. We have to renegotiate in our mind in terms of what is success and what is skill. I'll tell you why. I'll link it to the skill development. Unfortunately, we have a very elitist view in this country where we believe the only way we recognize success is through pen and pencil tests and cognitive abilities which people have. And if for whatever is the reason, somebody is not cognitively oriented but is still a problem solver using psychomotor, we reject that person in this country in unfortunately we're stuck with the caste system. So you don't have to have the 4 varnas, right? There is this other varna we have. The new varna dharma is to say the elite English speaking cognitive lot and the non-elite skilled low cost people. So we call them labor. So today in my role as in the foundation, we run skill development institutions. We have 9 skill development institutions in India today, our own, right? We are not outsourced to anybody, and I wanted to have a conversation with Dr. Parsuram on this, right? A common friend of us was talking yesterday to me about it. So one of the things we realized is to say, in India today, what we say that at 10th standard somebody is failed. Somebody failing 10th standard? No. You force the child to do a wrong education and you declare the child as a failure. If at the end of 8th standard, nothing more is required. The math which is taught as 8th standard, add, subtract, divide, multiply, is what we do in the boardroom. We don't do scholastic calculus in the boardroom. And most of the time, no, I'm not saying, there are a few people who do, right? Most of us don't do it actually. And everybody need not have to go to the boardroom also. That is also an obsession we carry at the end of the day, right? So we have to be careful here, right? And so what is it? That maths is enough, right? A decent level of language is enough. Grammar beyond a point is not required. Everybody need not have to be poets or poetesses, right? So a basic science of understanding physics, biology, chemistry is enough, right? That's happened at 8th standard. And then we don't understand to know which child wants to move on into the skilling, occasional skilling area and wants to be successful. Will not be told you are a failure 2 years later. An education which does not give livelihood is a wasted education for people. What's the point in putting this child through an education which at the end of that education, the child does, those who are cognitively oriented, stream them, let them move on and let them go to the point what they want to do. We have no problem. Those who are not cognitively oriented, we have to be ready to say 8th standard is where we are, and then we start streaming the child, and another 3-4 years of education which is in the skill domain makes the child ready for sustainable livelihood. So I jocularly say, what 12 years of education cannot do to a child, we do in 90 days at ICICI Skill Academy. At the end of 90 days, I call them child because they look to my eyes as my son and daughter. Right? Because my son is 25, my daughter is 20, every person who comes in there, in my eyes, appear to be my son, my daughter. Right? So I say that, look, this child will walk out without being exploited to earn 10,000 rupees a month minimum. 500 hours of investment in the child, and we have done 10,000 children in 12 months who have been employed. At minimum 10,000 rupees salary to maximum 25,000 rupees salary. In 90 days, 500 hours we can convert people to that. And this obsession in India that duration means greater proficiency. That's a nonsense. There is no link between duration and somebody being proficient in anything. It is around about how intense is your course. How relevant is your course. An electrician, what is the point in somebody telling Fleming's left-hand rule but can't hold a tester and really open out a screw? What is the point in somebody telling you thermodynamics but cannot know what's a compressor and how does a compressor work? So in our program, when we run this in ICICI Skill Academy, I invite you to come down, not because we want to brag to say we are doing a great thing and all. Right? We want you to come and recruit from our institutes and give livelihood to these children, and don't do us a favor. This is the best skill you will get, and test the child, you will find the child to be good and take him or her to your job.